cast away, I've been lost at sea. Oh, not a lonely day, no one here but me. Oh, more loneliness anyone could bear. Rescue me before I fall into despair. Oh, I'll send an SOS to the world. I'll send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets my message in the bottle. Message in the bottle, yeah. A year has passed since I would mind know. I should have known this right from the start. Only hope can keep me together. Love can mend your life, love can break your heart. So I'll send an SOS to the world. I'll send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets my message in the bottle. Yeah, message in the bottle, yeah. Yeah. Walked out this morning, don't believe what I saw. 100 billion bottles washed up on the shore. Seems I'm not alone in being alone. 100 billion castaways looking for a home. So I'll send an SOS to the world. I'll send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets my message in the bottle. Hey, 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 message in the bottle, yeah. Sending out an SOS, sending out an SOS, sending out an SOS, sending out an SOS, yeah. Sending out an SOS, sending out an SOS, sending out an SOS.
Good morning, Genesis. Big round of applause for Keely, Whitney, and Joel Henry. Joel Henry, all right. Thank you so much. Please, now remember, I know that you're not here in the physical form with us. However, please stand up and sing this song with us. It's good to stand up and move. So let's all do our opening song together. One big family.
Really good.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We all love, we all one big family. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Oh, let me see, where am I? Hello. Good morning.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to Genesis Center for Spiritual Living. I am Rev Gayle. I am so happy that you are all here with us virtually. Doesn't matter, we're all one. So you're here in my heart, you're here in the hearts of those that are essential service. And I want to thank those people right here and now for coming here and doing things like running the projector, Bob running the camera, Jim running the sound, Kyle, Keely and Joel for being here and donating their time. Christine S. is now our music director. She's here with her daughter, Alicia. Alyssa. I do that all the time. I'm so sorry. And Karen Williams, who I'm going to introduce again and again. She's doing the meditation and she's going to be our anchoring practitioner. So thanks to all of those folks because it makes doing this easier. So I'm very, very grateful for that. So Genesis is a community that is founded on the belief that not only are we all one, that we are that God is love, and so we are that. And we express that by being real, rising up and reaching out. And we do that collectively as a community, and then we do that individually. And now is a great opportunity to truly practice that. So thank you for being here. I'm going to do some announcements. These announcements right now you are going to find on our webpage, which is genesiscsl.org. That's the best place for you to find them. Go to the webpage and then click on what's happening, and the calendar's listed there, and we'll have all the events and how to be part of those events. So today at 11 a.m. we are going to do we always gather in the bistro after service, and I don't know about you, I missed that, so we've set up a virtual bistro. It is on Zoom. I encourage you to go to the website to click on the link because so we don't get Zoom bombed, which is now a thing evidently. Zoom has added passwords to all the Zoom links, so I've updated the links, so it's good if you had it somewhere and you think, oh, this link will work. To be double sure, go to that calendar and click on that. If you have trouble at all, text me at 206-775-5245 and I will text you back the link if it for some reason doesn't work. Today also at noon, join Reverend Heather for Genesis Recovery Group. Again, this is a Zoom meeting and you can find the link on our calendar. So if you've been part of that or if you're interested in becoming part of that, join Reverend Heather at noon today for that. And then this Wednesday, something entirely different. We normally have Sufi dancing, and because of social distancing, that has been canceled until we come back as a group again. So Reverend Bernie Campbell has stepped up and said he will do that Wednesday night service. So you're going to get to experience Bernie 2 weeks in a row. How cool is that? This week, April 8th at 7 p.m., he is going to be on Facebook Live. I know I said he was going to be on Zoom. However, we all know Bernie, and him and I talked about this morning. He really wants to move around on the stage, and I get that. So he's going to be Facebook Live, not Zoom, and I will correct that on our webpage. So you know how to find him on Facebook Live. You've been doing it all these Wednesdays. This isn't any different. All right, so that is it for our announcements. Yay! Anybody have anything that they're celebrating this coming week or this very day? If so, please put it into the chat. And I'll give you a minute, and if you have anything, Courtney or Bernie will yell that out to us so we can announce it to everybody. So anything that anybody's celebrating, birthday, anniversary. Nothing behind me. Anything? Yes, Bernie.
So if my grandpa would have lived, he'd be 100 tomorrow.
Oh, all right. Happy birthday, Grandpa.
That's right.
Because, he's living somewhere.
Amen.
Amen. Anybody else? Okay, on Facebook Live, is there anybody that this is their first time that they're experiencing Genesis? If so, would you type in, "I'm new here," so we can welcome you. And then I encourage you, especially if you're in the Seattle area. If you're outside the state, then I get that you'll probably never show up here. I shouldn't say never. There's a probability you might not show up here in person. However, if you're in the Seattle area, when we get to start meeting in person, please come and check us out. Yes?
Sophie is now 11 years old.
Sophie! Aw, Sophie, aw. We all know Sophie. She's our Girl Scout or Brownie.
Girl Scout.
Girl Scout. She's a Girl Scout now. She's old enough to be a Girl Scout. So, in celebration of Sophie, Bernie's grandpa, and each other, let's sing "We Celebrate You" to the tune of "Happy Birthday."
We celebrate you, 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 we celebrate you. Cha-cha-cha.
Cha-cha-cha. All right, cha-cha-cha. And with that, I did forget to read the Genesis promise. So before we move forward, let's bring that up. Thank you, Bob, for being flexible. And let's read our Genesis promise together. This is who we are as a community. Genesis is a place where I am seen, heard, and accepted without judgment, where I feel I am a part of something bigger than myself. It's a community that offers opportunities to learn spiritual tools and how to apply them in everyday life, enhancing my life and the world we live in. Thank you for taking that time out with me. And with that, I would like to welcome back up Karen Williams. Karen Williams is a practitioner here. And normally in like quote unquote normal times, how it was before we were distancing, Karen never got to be with us in community because she was always back in her ministry, which is with the children. And so I am very grateful because every day I find a reason that I am grateful for COVID-19. And so today I'm grateful for COVID-19 because it allows Karen Williams to be here in community and be our anchoring practitioner. So please welcome Karen Williams.
Yeah, I can find some gratitude to COVID-19 for that as well. I hardly ever get to be with you in this way, so I'm very grateful. So I have a reading that's kind of lengthy, so I'm going to ask you if it feels right to you to just stand up or sit down, hold your heart, do whatever that feels right to you. We're going to sing Use Me because this is where we open ourselves up to get anchored, to go deep, and to be our whole presence. So let's sing Use Me together.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the Son, and God is the Son, and God's so much more than the earth and the stars, or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing
lengthy reading. Comes from one of my teachers, Clarissa Pincola Estes. And so you'll recognize, if you know her, you'll recognize you will recognize her language in this piece. And being that it's lengthy, I just invite you to go within and be present to it, and it will just be our invocation today. Do not lose heart. We were made for these times. I have heard from so many recently who are deeply and properly bewildered. They are concerned about the state of affairs in our world right now. It is true, one has to have strong cojones and ovarios to withstand much of what passes for good in our culture today. Abject disregard of what the soul finds most precious and irreplaceable, and the corruption of principled ideals have become in some large societal arenas the new normal, the grotesquerie of the weak. It is hard to say which one of the current egregious matters has rocked people's worlds and beliefs more. Ours is a time of almost daily jaw-dropping astonishment and often righteous rage over the latest degradations of what matters most to civilized, visionary people. You are right in your assessments. The luster and hubris have some have aspired to while endorsing acts so heinous against children, elders, everyday people, the poor, the unguarded, the helpless, is breathtaking. Yet I urge you, ask you, gentle you, to please not spend your spirit dry by bewailing these difficult times. Especially do not lose hope. The fact is, we were made for these times. Yes, for years we have been learning, practicing, been in training for, and just waiting to meet this exact plane of engagement. I cannot tell you often enough that we are definitely the leaders we have been waiting for, and that we have been raised since childhood for this time precisely. I grew up on the Great Lakes and recognize a seaworthy vessel when I see one. Regarding awakened souls, there have never been more able crafts in the waters than there are right now across the world. And they are fully provisioned and able to signal one another as never before in the history of humankind. I would like to take your hands for a moment and assure you that you are built well for these times. Despite your stints of doubt, your frustrations in writing all that needs change right now, or even feeling you have lost the map entirely, you are not without resource. You are not alone. Look out over the prow. There are millions of boats of righteous souls on the waters with you. In your deepest homes, you have always, in your deepest bones, you have always known this is so. Even though your veneers may shiver from every wave in the stormy royal, I assure you that the long timbers composing your prow and rudder come from a forest greater. That long-grained lumber is known to withstand storms, to hold together, to hold its own, and to advance regardless. We have been in training for a dark time such as this since the day we ascended to come to earth. For many decades, worldwide, souls just like us have been felled and left for dead in so many ways, over and over, brought down by naivete, by lack of love, by suddenly realizing one deadly thing or another, by not realizing something else soon enough, by having ambushed and being assaulted by various cultural and personal shocks in the extreme. We all have a heritage and history of being gutted, and yet remember this especially, we have also of necessity perfected the knack of resurrection. Over and over again, we have been the living proof that that which has been exiled, lost, or foundered can be restored to life again. This is as true and sturdy a prognosis for the destroyed worlds around us as it was for our own once mortally wounded selves. Though we are not invulnerable to risability, our risability supports us to laugh in the face of cynics who say fat chance and management before mercy and other evidences of complete absence of soul sense. This, and our having been to hell and back on at least one momentous occasion, makes us seasoned vessels for certain. Even if you do not feel that you are, you are. Even if your puny little ego wants to contest the enormity of your soul, the smaller self can never for long sustain or subordinate the larger self. In matters of death and rebirth, you have surpassed the benchmarks many times. Even if your puny believe the evidence of any of your past testings and trials, here it is. Are you still standing? The answer is yes, and no adverbs like barely are allowed here. If you are still standing, ragged flags or no, you are able. Thus you have passed the bar and even raised it. You are seaworthy. In any dark time, there's a tendency to veer towards fainting over how much is wrong or unmended in the world. Do not focus on that. Do not make yourself ill with overwhelm. There is a tendency, too, to fall into being weakened by perseverating on what is outside your reach, by what cannot yet be. Do not focus there. That is spending the wind without raising the sails. We are needed. That is all we can know. And though we meet resistance, we more so will meet great souls who will hail us, love us, and guide us, and will know them. We will know them when they appear. Didn't you say you were a believer? Didn't you say you pledged to listen to a voice greater? Didn't you ask for grace? Don't you remember that to be in grace means to submit to the voice greater? You have all the resource you need to ride any wave, to surface from any trove. In the language of aviators and sailors, ours is to sail forward now, all balls out. Understand the paradox. If you study the physics of a waterspout, you will see that the outer vortex whirls far more rapidly than the inner one. To calm the storm means to quiet the outer layer, to cause it, by whatever countervailing means, to swirl much less, to more evenly match the velocity of the inner, far less volatile core, till whatever has been lifted into such a vicious funnel falls back to earth, lays down, is peaceable again. One of the most important steps you can take to help calm the storm is to not allow yourself to be taken in a flurry of overwrought emotion or despair, thereby accidentally contributing to the swale of the swirl. Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is ours and within our reach. Any small, calm thing that one soul can do to help another soul, to assist some portion of this poor, suffering world, will help immensely. It is not given to us to know which acts or by whom will cause the critical mass to tip toward an enduring good. What is needed for dramatic change is an accumulation of acts, adding to, adding more, continuing. We know that it does not take everyone on earth to bring justice and peace, but only a small determined group who will not give up during the first, second, or 100th gale. One of the most calming and powerful actions you can do to intervene in a stormy world is to stand up and show your soul. Soul on deck shines like gold in dark times. The light of the soul throws sparks, sends up flares, builds signal fires, causes proper matters to catch fire. To display the lantern of soul in shadowy times like these, to be fierce and to show mercy towards others, Both are acts of immense bravery and greatest necessity. Struggling souls catch light from other souls who are fully lit and willing to show it. If you would help to calm the tumult, this is one of the strongest things you can do. There will always be times in the midst of success right around the corner, but as yet still unseen, when you feel discouraged. I too have felt despair many times in my life, but I do not keep a chair for it. I will not entertain it. It is not allowed to eat from my plate. The reason is this: in my uttermost bones, I know something, as do you. It is that there can be no despair when you remember why you came to earth, who you serve, and who sent you here. The good words we say and the good deeds we do are not ours. They are the words and deeds of the one who brought us here. In that spirit, I will hope you will write this on your wall. When a great ship is in harbor and moored, it is safe. There can be no doubt. But that is not what great ships are built for. This comes with much love and prayer, that you remember who you came from and why you came to this beautiful and needful earth. And so it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't done this one. So I want to welcome, please, for her first performance as our official music director, Christine S., and her daughter, Alyssa, and Keely Whitney.
Yay!
Thanks, guys.
Seasons change, the cosmic dance, planets moving in stars.
Thank you, that was beautiful. Life begins again, that's kind of like bright beginnings, and that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. And Karen, your reading, how perfect. In fact, your reading was probably everything that I was going to say today. Only different, because I was going to say I'm not as eloquent as her, and that's not true. I'm just different than your teacher. So what I first want to talk about and honor is in the month of April, starting today actually, they call it High Holy Holidays. And so to just take a moment to realize that today is Palm Sunday in the Christian religion. And what that means is they are honoring the fact that on this day was the day that Jesus rode into the city, and he rode on a donkey, and he was dressed in a toga. And that all had great symbolism. He didn't come dressed as a warrior. He didn't come in on a big horse. He came in as a man of peace and love, and rode into the city, and they threw palms down in front of him to make way for him. And then on Thursday is the day we celebrate the Last Supper, or in the Christian religion they celebrate the Last Supper. And then of course Friday is Good Friday, which is the day that he was crucified. And then we have Easter. And Ramadan is the last Sunday of this month. So there's a lot of holidays that are happening this month. Wednesday is the beginning of Passover. And Passover is the Jewish holiday when Moses came in to free the Jewish people. And the Pharaoh was like, no, that's not happening. And so God did 10 plagues. And one plague was that all of the children of a certain age were going to get the plague and die. And the Jewish people were told to take lamb's blood and put a red X in the blood above their door, and they would be passed over. And the reason I mention these holidays is because, yes, it's different for us to do Sunday service this way, but as Karen was doing meditation this morning, I thought about Easter Sunday and how even though I have never been Catholic a day in my life, you always see the Pope on Easter Sunday come out and do his service, and that square is full of Catholics that have migrated there to be part of that Easter service. And so my heart goes out to those people, because that isn't going to happen this year. That is not going to happen for those people this year. I read articles where one woman said her daughter's 16 years old. This will be the first Seder dinner that they've had that will just be their family, because it's supposed to be a huge gathering of relatives. And she said it will be the smallest table that they've ever had. And so just to honor the different traditions and to realize some of the emotional struggles that people go through because they can't do their practices the way they have been doing them. And yet, it doesn't mean we can't do practices. We're still doing service. It looks different. It's a little uncomfortable standing up here and talking to a cell phone, looking at Bob, who's running the projector with his face mask on that has this little white smile on it. He looks kind of creepy. I love him, but he looks, and that's what he was going for. That's the signal he's giving me. You know, it's different, but at least it allows us to connect. It allows us to really tap into that faith and that hope that Karen read about, and it is so important that we do that. And so now I want to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about the science, about why it is important that we have faith and hope. So many people right now are in fear, anxiety. Fear and anxiety are probably the two biggest ones, but there's probably a lot of things, but fear and anxiety. And what happens to us physically, proven by scientists and doctors, when we go into fear and anxiety and despair. Our brain has a place that's called the amygdala. And what happens is the amygdala goes, oh my God, she's gonna die. Because that's what your brain thinks when you go there. It goes automatically into fight, flight, or freeze. And when it does that, it signals your body, uh-oh, you better give her a steroid called cortisol. And what that does is all of your energy goes to creating this in your body. And when it creates it in your body, guess what happens? You can't fight disease. You become more susceptible to a normal flu, let alone this coronavirus, because you're in fear and worry and doubt. Because that is how our bodies are made. It is a proven fact. And so what I want to say to all of you is, thank God you're religious scientists. Because you have been given these tools. It's like that woman said, you have been given these tools since you found this philosophy. Probably in many religions you've been given tools, but this one especially. We talk about how do we get ourselves out of fear. And so one thing I want you to think about, because some of us might resent just a little tiny bit that we have to social distance and that we're supposed to stay at home. So I will give you an example. It's personal because it's the only ones I'm allowed to share. Yesterday morning, I woke up, and the minute I opened my eyes, I knew, uh-oh, I am not a happy camper. Now, some people may get depressed and they feel sad and, they go within. I am more the extrovert of, I'm not happy right now. And so as I'm stomping around the house like a 2-year-old, because what do 2-year-olds do when they're not happy? They stomp, and I have stairs. So you can hear me going up and down the stairs. And I do one thing every single morning, 7 days a week. I get up, I go into my computer, I post on Genesis Family, I post on Genesis Center for Spiritual Living, I post on my page, and then I send out Rev Gayle's Wake Up Call. And then I'm complete. Walked into my office, my computer's not working. Go downstairs, I literally got 3 computers now. I've got my computer, I've got 2 computers from here set up on the dining room table. All of these computers were misbehaving. Now, I just heard today on the news that we can affect a computer's operation by our energy, how we're behaving, and I'm like, wow, I was really misbehaving. Because my computers was like, yeah, we're not gonna play with you today until you calm down. Now, fortunately, none of you are called, because in Paul's delight to try to soothe his wife, he just casually said to me, so, would you like to take a break? And I responded like a 2-year-old. No, I don't want to take a break. I want this computer to work, right? Have you been there in the last couple of weeks? So what do we do with that? So first of all, a lot of people have said, how can we be of service? And it's hard for me as a community to figure out how as a community can we be of service together when we can't be together. But being of service is a great way to get out of your fight, flight, or freeze head. Because when you're of service, then your brain is like, oh, I'm happy now. And it can't do 2 things at once, as great as our brain is. So first of all, I want all of you to realize, every single one of you, that is not working, that is staying at home, that's of service. That is of service not only to yourself, it is of service to humanity, and it is of service to the planet. So kudos, you're staying at home. For all of those people that are working because they have jobs that require them to work, our doctors, our nurses, our paramedics, our fire departments, our policemen, our grocery store operators, people that are dealing with the public, God bless them, they are of service, and it's a different kind of service. We all have some way of being of service. I just found out that, well, not just found out, they are starting to say that we should wear masks. Thus Bob came in with this mask on today. I'm gonna have you step in front of the camera after service, Bob, so they can see you. Or you can just turn the camera around. So I'm thinking, okay, I better go online and buy some face masks because I don't have one. And then I had a friend who said, I'm gonna have some face masks. And I said, oh, could I buy some? And she'd already said that she had some made for Paul and I. If you can sew, you can make face masks. Leave them on your doorstep for people. There are things that you can do that we can, you know, if you've got ideas, type it in. Figure out, like, what can we do separately and together as a community that is going to not only lift us up and get us out of fight, flight, and freeze, it's going to help all of humanity. So I'm going to show you something because I thought this was precious. You guys might not get this, but it's Charmin toilet paper. So I want to tell you another story and why this means so much to me. I almost thought about hugging it through my entire talk today. It means that much to me. So I'm going to ask you this question when I'm sharing this story. You can type it in. What are you most grateful for because of this virus? Not grateful like, oh, I'm grateful the sun's shining today. What is it about what is happening right now that you're grateful for? And so I asked a group of people that I text message every day. And I gave some things. I am so grateful that Mother Earth gets to breathe. You know, that there's not as many cars out there, there's not as many planes, there aren't as many trains running, there's not as many businesses, that Mother Earth just gets to take a breath, which she's kind of been demanding that we give her. And so I was grateful for that. And I listed some other things. I mentioned the Genesis community, and then I said and I put it in big letters, what I missed, what I really missed. I guess it was what I missed, not what I was grateful for. So what I missed was Charmin toilet paper. Because, you know, even if you can buy toilet paper, it's usually single ply toilet paper that you use in gas stations. And I'm tender, and I don't like that kind of toilet paper. And so I put that, you know, I texted and said, I miss Charmin toilet paper. And Courtney, God bless her, because Bernie and Courtney are here holding vigil. I forgot to say thank you to them. Courtney went shopping that day. She walked into the grocery store, and you never see toilet paper in the grocery store. She walked in, and God heard my plea, and she said there were 3 of these. She only bought one. And she bought it for me, and she brought it to me today. So those things, little things. So what are you grateful for? Because gratitude gets us out of fear. Gratitude makes us realize that there is hope. That every single one of us, in my belief, is that we chose to be here. And if we chose to be here, then before we came, we knew this was going to happen. We knew we were here for a reason. We are those light workers. Whether you consider yourself a light worker or not, you are, because you're here. And it's important to me, to this community, to you, to the people you live with, that you don't lose hope and you don't lose your faith. Because without that, there's anarchy. It's interesting that every book you read, whether it's self-help, whether it's spiritual, whatever it is, they talk about the importance of gratitude. And one of the books I'm reading every single day now is Wallace Wattles' The Science of Getting Rich. And he talks about why gratitude is so important. And it's because gratitude brings you back to God. Gratitude does that connection. You remember and thank that which is bigger than yourself. And so it puts you back into alignment with your source. And so why wouldn't we want to do that? And I know people say, oh, you know, five gratitudes in the morning, 5 gratitudes at night. That's good. And it's kind of mechanical. What if you just started being grateful all the time? If, be grateful. I am grateful when I drive on the freeway right now because there's not a lot of traffic. And I can go, I can't go as fast as I want. We know that, but I can go 7 miles over the speed limit. There are things that we can do right now that we can be grateful for. And that gratitude is not about more please, although it is. It's about connecting with your soul, with your divine source, that you are acknowledging, I get it. I get it. Remember what Karen read. It's remembering why you're here, who you are. We're all God-informed, so we're all light workers. Nobody gets a pass on this. Nobody. Every single one of us. And so we need to take care of ourselves. We need to know when we wake up in the morning, and everybody's different. When I wake up in the morning, I know when my 2-year-old wants to come out and be heard. It's like visceral. It's my whole body is like, okay, let her have her way. Because if I let her have her way, she doesn't stay long. By noon, I was okay. By 3, I was better. It was a gradual. It wasn't going from my 2-year-old is here and she's angry and she's pouting and she's stamping her feet to, okay, life is good. That is not how it works. Be with it. Just don't remember what Karen said in her reading. These aren't her words, but it was the same thing. Don't build a house there. Don't get comfortable in your unhappiness. Don't get comfortable with your fear. So some of the other things that we can do. And I've said this many times, and I was reading this article from a doctor about fear, and he was saying the same things that we've been saying here. Turn off the news. And, I've been saying, because some people think they have to watch the news, if you want to find out about this virus, then go to a scientific page, whatever that is, the CDC or what scientists are saying. Go there and just get facts. Remember what the news is. It's, they get their watchers, if you will, their viewers, by breaking news, which now, across the bottom of the screen, is breaking all the time. But if you watch it enough, you'll realize there was breaking news yesterday. It was the same breaking news. And so give your body, your mind, your soul a real break. Give it a breath. The other thing that I think is important, and I know when I say this, I'm going to have a couple people in the room go, and that's okay. However, if you tend to slide into depression, this is a slippery slope right now because we're feeling isolated and alone. And so I highly recommend you get out of bed, you go into your bathroom, you take a shower. If you're a guy, you fix your hair, you shave. If you're a woman, you put on your makeup. You look pretty. Nobody's going to see you. It doesn't matter. You're not doing it for the world. You're doing it for yourself. You're waking up your body with that shower. You're getting dressed, because if you stay in your jammies all week long, it can start to weigh on you. And we've got enough weighing on us right now without adding flames to the fire. And so I encourage you to do those little things. Yes, you're housebound. It's also been said you can go outside and take a walk. Do it. Do it. Go outside. You need vitamin D. Yes, we're in Seattle. It's cloudy. Sometimes it's raining. The sun's shining down on you anyway. Get outside. You need that fresh air. I was talking to Karen on the phone this week, and she had her doors open so fresh air could come into her house. Do that. We forget. We forget. And when we get cooped up, I promise you, more than just my 2-year-old is gonna wanna come out and play. And my 2-year-old probably has a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. And God forbid if they all came out to play at the same time. Paul would probably stay at work. So, you know, take care of yourself, because when you take care of yourself, see, when we're in fight, flight, or freeze, we're selfish. We are worried about one thing, and that's us. That is why there's a toilet paper shortage right now. That is why we're seeing an uptick in racism and blaming people for this pandemic and looking at different countries for why this is happening to the world. It's because that's what happens when our brain is in that mode. And so you need to take your brain out of that mode. So doing this, yes, it's for you, but imagine if we as a community decided we're really going to take care of ourselves. We are really going to make the most out of this, because this is our life for the next 30 days. And it could be our life for 30 more days after that. And so we need to practice making the best of this, because it's important. And so what I want to do also is encourage all of you, because I am one person. My intent is to call each of you, and it's been my intent, and it hasn't come to fruition yet. And so if you're struggling, if you need to hear a voice, if you need some sort of help, would you please call me? Would you please just reach out and call me? I am not too busy to talk to somebody. Please don't say, oh, Gayle's busy, I can't talk to her. That is not true. Here's my job that makes me happy as a minister, supporting this community. That was my calling. My calling was not doing QuickBooks. My calling was not figuring out if the slides are going to work. That's not my calling. My calling is you. So my number, write this down. Courtney, put it in the little thing, please, if you would, is 206-775-5245. If calling me for some reason makes you nervous, then email me and I will call you. And the email,
Say it again?
206-775-5245. And my email, and I'm going to give you the short one instead of the Genesis one because it's less letters, is RevGayle, RevGayle @gmail.com. So please don't be out there isolated, alone, or in fear, or whatever's going on, and think for 1 minute that you can't call me. So please call me, email me, text me. That brings me joy. Not that you're suffering. What brings me joy is that I get to be of service to you. That's why I went into ministry. That's why Bernie went into ministry. That's why Karen's a practitioner. That's why we do this work. And so please take advantage of that. And so now I'm going to close with a prayer. And one of the things that the doctor talked about was when you're in that mode of your brain being good, when it's really working for you, is you really practice empathy. And so as we get into this prayer, I'm going to have you do some breathing with me, and we're going to be breathing in discontent, because what I want you to know as you do that, you're breathing it into your heart, and your heart is the soul, it is God, and so it's gone the minute it lands there. And then when we breathe out, we're going to breathe out love, and we're going to breathe out love, not just to this community, we're going to breathe out love to the entire world, and then we'll go into prayer. And so just close your eyes, and we're going to do this breathing, and I'm not going to count out loud, because that will distract you from breathing in the discontent. But we're gonna breathe into a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and breathe out for a count of 4. So I want you to breathe in the discontent. I want you to hold it. Let it sink into your heart. Now when you breathe out, big breath out, all the love you have out into the world. Another deep breath in of discontent, of worry, doubt, fear that is in other people. Hold it and let it sink into your heart where God's got it. It's gone the minute it hits your heart. And now with this huge out-breath, joy and freedom and love. And now the last one, deep breath in, the deepest breath you've got. Just bring the world and the earth into your heart. Breathe it in. Hold it in your heart. Let God take it. For those that don't know how to be rid of it, let God take it through you. And now breathe out more love, more compassion, more joy. For what I know right here and right now is there's just one life, and that life is God. It is whole, it is complete, and it is perfect. It is the Alpha, it is the Omega, it has no beginning or no end. It is me, and it is you. That is God. It is right here on this earth, experiencing all of this right here and right now. As each and every one of this. When people say, where is God in the midst of all of this? God's right here. God is right here because it lives and breathes and has its existence as all of this. So how can it be anywhere else but here? All we have to do is remember. We have free will. So it's never, ever going to force us or press down upon us anything that we aren't ready to receive. And so I ask you as religious scientists, I ask you as Genesis family to open up your heart to that divine place within you that knows it is God, that wants to experience life to the fullest. I ask you as this community to meditate, to pray, to know that God is more powerful than any condition, regardless of what the effect is right now in the human condition. Do not focus on the effect. Bring yourself back into your heart and focus on the power, the one presence, the one life. That is you. That is all people everywhere. And so I stand here and give thanks for the knowing of the power and the presence of me, of everyone in this room, of everybody on Facebook family, of everybody that's watching us live, of everybody that will watch us later. I give thanks that you are called upon to be that light worker, to be that strength, to not give in to the fear and the despair, and to know this too shall pass. To know the peace that surpasses all understanding. To have that faith of a mustard seed. And so as I speak these words, I know it's already done in the mind of God. It's already complete. God's got this. God's always got this. And so I stand with all of you and just say, show us the house. Show us the way. We are here to serve. And so with that, I let go. I let God. And together, we say with as much power as we can. And
so it is.
Amen. Please welcome back to the stage Christine S. and her daughter. Go ahead and say it for me because I don't want to.
Alyssa.
Alyssa. Yes. Yay!
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me.
All right. So this is our opportunity to remember that the center is supported by God, and each one of us is an individual unique manifestation of that. It's our opportunity to give to Genesis right here and now. Are you coming up for the drum, Paul? No? Oh, never mind. I'm ahead of myself. Sorry. All right, so we're going to sing a song while everybody online, please feel free to donate. You can either do that on our Facebook page. There is a donate button right there if you want to do that. Or you can go to genesiscsl.org and there is a button on our webpage that says donate. Click on that. Or you can text 206-800-7595. So we're going to sing a song and give everybody time to create their donation, and then we'll pray on that afterwards. So.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything. Love is all I need, love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything. Sing joy, joy is my source, joy is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Last time with God, God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
All right. So, for those of us here, we'll take this opportunity to, oh, you know what I forgot? I apologize. Prayer requests. So again, for you online, you can text your prayer request to 206-775-5245, and those prayer requests then will come to me and I distribute them to all of the practitioners. So please, let's just take a moment to allow people also to create a prayer request. A little out of balance right there for some reason. So just a moment to write out your prayer request. So we'll take our prayers and our offerings and put them up to our heart, and we'll say our offering blessing together. It's okay, Bob. I think people know it. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. So I'll give people that are here in person a moment to bring their gifts up, and then if they'd stay up here, we'll sing our closing song together. So if everybody wants to come up, 6 feet apart, remember, but we can sing our closing song together. We're waiting for people to come up.
Wait. I'm excited.
I know.
I'm so excited. It's such a fun song.
Okay. All right, I think. Are you guys coming up to sing with us? You gonna sit down there? Okay, all right. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only your God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only your God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only your God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only your God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only your God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only your God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only your God. Blessings, community. I know we're a little bit late for virtual bistro. We'll be there in about 5 minutes. Love you all. Thanks for being here.